Is it real? Is it happening?
I think it's happening. It does usually take YouTube like 10 seconds to kick in. So
That's good. I'm still chewing on a gummy worm, so I hope I hope it's not quite.
yeah, we literally both just got back from the dentist, and she's already eaten gummy worms. So
I hate dentists. I know hate is a strong word, but it is appropriate for my emotions towards them.
towards the dentist.
Yes.
If you guys could post in chat if we're live, it does look like we are. So I just doing some social media stuff real fast, making sure everybody on the Twitterverse and Facebook world and Tumblr and all that know that this is happening. It looks like they do. All right. I'm pretty sure we're live. So people are saying sound is working, so they can hear us. That's good. You never know about that one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to DevStream number 4. We're very excited to be here. It's going to take a very similar format to the previous couple of dev streams, so we'll stick around here for about an hour, probably, to chat with you. Becca's going to be playing more of the dev build of the game, which we're excited to show you guys about. But first off, of course, we definitely wanted to say, holy cow, we hit the stretch goal today. We unlocked Cat Resident number 2, so that is extremely exciting. I didn't know that we were going to make it today. I was watching the number and trying to stay on top of it, and then, of course, we hit the stretch goal right when we were at the dentist office, so I couldn't, switch over the graphics immediately and all that. But that's just how it goes, But yeah, so we're super excited about that. I mean, that's incredible. Thank you to everybody who's backed the game on Kickstarter. Huge thanks to you guys. We literally cannot do what we do without your support. So of course, there's still 40 hours left in the Kickstarter, as you can see listed here on the page. So if you have not backed and you're interested in supporting our game and getting some pretty cool bonuses for doing so, definitely go check it out, cattailsgame.com/KS. This is like the last chance. I mean, this is the last chance if you want to join in during the Kickstarter. And there's some pretty cool stuff. There's the Pet Rainbow Firefly that we're giving out to all Steam backers that are getting a copy of the game. There's the Pet Molbert that you're going to get if you back at a deluxe edition tier. And then, of course, there's some other things like names and credits, or you can add a name to our random cat NPC pool. So really cool stuff like that. Definitely go check it out. 40 hours to go, and then it is done. And then it locks in, and we send out surveys, and we collect the pledges, and that's it. That's, sayonara for the Kickstarter. That's the end of it. So do go check that out. It's time sensitive.
We all want to see the new cat.
We do.
People, I know that some have already seen it because it's already posted on the Kickstarter. But I love them, and I was just really excited that we're getting that cat.
Yeah.
There's no name for it, so I don't know what to call them yet. But I'm really excited to see what they're like.
Yeah, so we've included just a little blurb, a little couple sentences about personality, but in terms of name, we definitely want to get you guys involved with that. So to every single person who's backing the game on Kickstarter, we're going to be sending out 3 options in a poll where you can vote on what we're going to name this little guy. And whatever name wins the poll, that's the name we're going to go with. So that's kind of exciting. That's a fun way that you all can get involved and, leave your mark on the end product. So very excited about that. So again, that was just unlocked maybe a half an hour ago. I mean, it was pretty recent, maybe an hour ago at most. So that's pretty cool. And of course, we threw a little surprise your way as well. If you've been paying close attention, we've got one more stretch goal, and I know there's just barely under 2 days left to go. There's like one full day basically, because this thing wraps up at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Friday morning. So there's not a lot of time on Friday, but tomorrow we think is hopefully going to be a big day. It's the last day of the Kickstarter. Kickstarters usually have a little bit of a push towards the end. And if we can hit this goal, which is 240, then we're going to add wedding venues to the game, which is a really fun idea. So when you get married to the cat of your choice, you're going to get to pick at that time what venue you want to have your wedding at. So you're not just going to be restricted to just the festival plaza, which would be sort of the default and where you'd probably have the wedding otherwise. You'll have a couple more options. So we're going to add in the beach as an option. You can have a beach wedding, or the Temple of the Forest Guardian as well if you want something a little bit more formal. So all of your wedding guests will come with you and celebrate with you in whatever venue you choose. So again, if we can hit 240 by the end of the campaign, we're going to add that awesome feature to the game. So make sure that you are telling your friends about the campaign. If you have anybody in your life that you think would like this game and might be bummed if they missed out on the special rewards for the Kickstarter, send the link their way. We super duper appreciate it when you guys do that. You can also share our links and our posts on social media like Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr. Just retweets or sharing the post is extremely helpful. You have no idea. So thanks to everybody who's done that. Yeah, we're very excited about that. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll probably jump right into the game here pretty soon. I mean, are you ready?
I'm ready. If you watched the last stream, I had a cat that I was like working on their save file. But unfortunately, that save file is gone. And now don't worry about your save files. This is because it was on Tyler's computer and he was messing with a bunch of stuff. We don't want that to happen to your save files.
Yeah, that does tend to happen on the dev builds because one thing I was working on over the past couple weeks was the save file system. So I was clearing them out and I was, copying them and pasting them and deleting them and all this stuff for several days in a row to test all that functionality and add new features. So, and also the backup system. So all of that, is new functionality that's been built on top of what was already existing when you made your save file. Yeah. And so it just sort of, it's a casualty.
We'll be starting fresh with this, which I feel like is good because we can definitely spend more time in the creating a cat and all that good stuff.
Yeah. You might also see when we get to the save file screen, all of my dev save files, which are hilarious because they're named funny and they're all in like spring 1, year 1. But there's several of those and they basically none of them have actual progress.
He killed my baby to create
a monster.
Of the
That is exactly what I'm
That's all I heard.
Not intentionally, no. But it did happen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the game. I'm getting it booted up right now. Again, this is our dev build, so it's actually compiling fresh right now, so that's why it takes just a little bit of time. All right, looks like it's loading up. Hopefully you guys can hear the game audio. Let us know if that is not the case. I may have also messed with the volume settings, so that might be worth exploring before we get too deep in here. If you guys have any questions as we're playing the game, by the way, feel free to leave them in the chat. I'm going to do my best to keep up with that while Becca plays. And then we can go ahead and... Where do you need this moved?
Well, it just always lines up to where I can't see where I want to see.
Do you want to see? Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, that's
good there?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, there's all the files. And none of these were yours, right? Just to be clear. I don't
Definitely
think they were.
Not. No. Also, do y'all hear music or the game or anything? Because I don't hear.
No, here. Let me. There we go. I think that'll be better.
Oh, I hear it now. Okay.
Yeah, and we won't hear it too much. I'm trying to prevent a feedback loop coming in on your guys' end, so it's pretty quiet on our end, but hopefully you guys can hear it all right.
Okay, I have no idea what to name. I feel the pressure. This is when I have the controller in my hand and I forget completely how to play this game.
Charlie H in chat wants us, when we create our cat, to click through all of the pelt options for the colors. There are a lot. I mean, there's 2 pages of presets, and then of course the third page is your custom colors if you create any of those. At the very least, we can show like the icons for them. I don't know that we'll actually click through and show the character model, but you'll get a decent idea for what's available.
Yeah, I'll click around randomly, give you a little sneak peek at a lot. I mean, I plan on customizing mine, so we can definitely do that.
And while you're doing that, I see a question from Sebastian Creek who asks, how would one trigger the random cat with the random name from the pool? I haven't played the original game, so I'm curious. That's a great question. So your colony of cats is more than just the cats who you can talk to and befriend and marry, who have the cute little dialogue portraits. You also have some cats that are helping to defend your lands, your territory, and the way that they do that is by wandering out into the wilderness and sort of fighting on behalf of your colony. So you can run into these roving packs of allied cats to yours who are just sort of out there in the woods doing their thing. Or during like daily battles will occur throughout the map, very similar to the first game. You might encounter like a regiment of your cats at one of these battles. So those cats, which are randomly generated cats, they'll have a randomly picked color and some other physical features. We'll also have a randomly chosen name from the pool of names, which our Kickstarter backers are going to feed into. So if you have that tier and you submit a name, you might run into a cat out there fighting the fight for your colony who's using that name that you submitted.
Yeah, so it's not like a full NPC, but they are like extras that help fights in your colony.
Right.
I'm getting really picky on this.
On the color? I mean, by all means, go through and be as picky as you want, because we have an hour, so.
This is gonna be an hour of me getting this exactly how I want it.
I like the concept here of like a brown calico kind of a vision instead of a black calico.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I know that some of the sort of YouTubers and streamers who have played the game have spent some time with the coat customization system, but I also know that a lot of them have not, or some of them have actually skipped over it, which to each their own. So a lot of this might be new to some of the viewers. So what Becca's doing right now, in case you're unfamiliar, there's a whole system in Cattails Wildwood Story. It's brand new to this entry in the series, where you can create from scratch your own coat pattern for your cat to wear in the game. It's going to be fully animated and everything in whatever color that is. So that's a pretty cool new feature. You can choose literally any color for one of like 30 different points that you can color, which are everything from stripes to rosettes to speckles. Change the color of the nose or the ears independently, or the tail or the paws, the belly, all these things. So you can go in and change all that up. Then when you save that, that's going to get saved to your computer as an image file, and it's going to be available for you to use on all of your save files, and it's going to stick around on your computer as long as you want to keep it around. And the other super cool feature about that is if you go into your computer's like file explorer, you can go pull up that image file. And if you take that file and you share it with a friend, you can send it, via email or upload it to a website or flash drive if you want to be old school, whatever you want to do with that file. If you give them that file and they put it in the right location on their computer, their game is going to read it in as well, and they will be able to use your creation in their copy of the game. So we're pretty excited to see what people do with that. I think there's going to be some pretty neat creations out there outside of the 30 or so preset options that we make. I know there's a lot of very creative people out there who have some pretty neat ideas for cats that I would never think of. There's a question about sharing mods with other people. So the way that we're looking into kind of making that experience a little bit more pleasant is we're going to be providing full documentation on that. We're going to show if you want to create a mod using our community content API, what all you can modify in the game, how you can do that, what files you need to touch, where you need to put those files, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have full documentation on that, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, no promises on this yet. This is just the current plan. We're planning to have all of your files for your specific mod live in their own subdirectory. So they'll be, I'll make a mod called Tyler's Amazing Mod, and it'll be in a folder called Tyler's Amazing Mod. And then if I want to share that with somebody, all that they would have to do, again, hopefully, is I would send them that one file, Tyler's Amazing Mod. They would download that folder and then put it in, a mods directory, and then the game could read that in. So that's the goal. I'm optimistic that we'll be able to do that, at least on Windows. We'll see about Mac. There's a couple technical hurdles we have to overcome, but we are on track to probably have that feature in the game. So hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult.
This is a new thing, so I wanted to point it out. A really random accessibility issue. Arachnids. Some people don't have just a major fear of them, and so we wanted to have the option to just turn them into circles, and so you don't have to see spiders if you don't want to.
Yeah, there was a great game out there that had a feature very similar to this, and I'm blanking on the name, but in the game you play as a human who's been shrunk down to like the size of an ant, and you're wandering through like a front yard, and so the villains in the game are like these giant bugs or like a squirrel or whatever that you're coming across. And it's a really cool game, but one cool thing that the devs did is they made like a slider where you can like change how spider-like the spiders in the game are, which I thought was a great idea. And I got the suggestion enough times from the community of like, hey, can we have a feature where we can disable those, you know? Because I know that's something that a lot of people have issues with. And of course, I want to make it as playable as possible to as many people as possible. So we were happy to implement that. And so that is one of those features that we only even, you know, really thought about.
I'd never heard of it until recently. So yeah, it's just important to always keep your eyes and ears open and learn from the community. So thank you everybody who let us know about that.
Yeah, that was super cool. There's a lot of questions about modding and the capabilities there. So we have what's called the Community Content API. It's not true full modding support. The thing that you are not going to be able to actually touch is the code of the game. In no way will you be able to modify the code. But several elements of the content you will be able to modify, and basically some functionality elements can be changed through that. It depends on what sort of hooks that we provide to you using the system that we've created in order to modify. Some of those are like the functionality of certain items, the functionality of certain NPCs, things like that. But basically on a high level, it's categories.
I'm going to interrupt to tell the non-modders what's up, because I'm not a modder. And there were a lot of words there like functionality and I don't know. Here's what's important. In my brain.
Right,
Modders will disagree probably there, but in my non-mod brain, what is really cool is you can kind of like edit the different NPCs. I think that's what I'm most excited about. And so if you are an artist and want to create your own like portraits and you talk to another NPC, we make it super easy for you to make a mod for that, change their dialogue, and all that good stuff. So
I think that's a great way to put it, and I like that you've touched on making it easy, because our goal is to make a system that's decently approachable, to change things that are, I guess, on the simple side of things to change. You know, not overhauling the entire game or whatever, but small things like changing certain bits of dialogue, changing portraits, changing what items are available in shops, things of that nature. Those are all going to be decently easy to swap out using the system that we built, or that's the goal anyways.
I want this one so bad.
Yeah, that's a finch, which is like a type of songbird.
I'm so glad I got it.
You barely had it there, but you got it. Very well done.
Because I'm starting this save file kind of fresh, even though I've already played it a lot, can we cheat and give me monies?
Yeah, everybody's viewing, just look away on the honor system.
I want to be able to like show them more like accessories and stuff.
We don't condone this behavior, which is cheating, and it's no way to get ahead in life. But for the purposes of this stream, we will be bad and cheat.
Okay, cool.
So you guys can all vouch for us. She definitely had 2,000 views before that very suspicious screen transition, right? I mean, that's definitely what was happening there. So it'll be our little secret. Don't worry about it.
Step number 1, know the dev.
I see a question from Vastiana, which is, most important question, how are you two doing? That's a great question. Thank you for asking. It has been some of the busiest weeks of our life, that's for sure. Running a Kickstarter is no joke. The amount of prep work that goes into that is quite a bit, on top of, answering messages and comments and all that. For myself personally, I'm doing great, honestly. I mean, staying busy, trying to stay on top of it as best as possible, but definitely doing good. I mean, a big part of that is most of the people who are, around these sort of games, cat games, and Cattails in particular, you guys tend to be a pretty chill group, a pretty nice group of people who, just enjoys cute kitty cats and all that. So I really appreciate that. A lot of people have reached out to show their support. So that's been amazing. That's kept the morale high on my end. So thanks to everybody who's done that.
I want to spend more time decorating the den because last time I had started to, but I didn't really get that far with it. So
right, that's a great idea for something to do, especially with a bunch of money that you've rightfully earned.
Wow, my hard-earned money.
There's a question about receiving a code when the alpha comes out. Yeah, so if you're a backer at the alpha tier, we'll send you a Steam key via your Kickstarter messages or an email address associated with your Kickstarter account. That Steam key is going to arrive whenever the alpha launches, which we're targeting August of this year. You'll receive a code, which is just a string of characters and numbers. You can take that over to Steam, the desktop client for Steam. You can input that. It's going to unlock the alpha, let you download it, let you play it through Steam. So that's kind of how that's going to work. And if you do have any questions, you'll be able to respond to the message where we send the code. We'll receive those directly, and then either myself or Becca will respond to those and let you know how to make that happen. And we'll have instructions in the email as well. Are you just filling in the entire den?
No, I'm making a very long hallway.
That's gonna be a very long hallway. I do
This is
wonder.
why you shouldn't let me do the streams.
At one point, I calculated how much it would cost to fill in every tile, and I don't remember the grand total, but it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot of
Oh my
views.
gosh. This is not what you're supposed to. Maybe I shouldn't do this for the dev
I think it's funny.
Okay, then right there's gonna be a little area.
There's a question about if you find bugs in the alpha or the beta, and how you would let us know. Yeah, for sure. So you can email us, you can respond to the email that we send that to, or we also have a forum community at cattailsgame.proboards.com. Either of those places are great places, or you can reach out to me on Discord. Whichever method you'd prefer, that is super helpful though. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for when we run the alpha and the beta, is if you run into some super specific bug that's just something that we would never have run into ourselves. That is exactly the kind of stuff that the alpha and the beta is there for. So please do reach out if you find that, and we will be sure to look into it with as much details as possible too. That's important, because if we can't replicate it on our end, then it's going to be difficult for us to patch it. There's some smaller beds if you want a smaller bed. That one's just huge.
Just put that away.
Will there be permanent merch? That is a good question. That is not the goal right now, because we, again, it's just the two of us. I mean, this right here is Falcon Development, the whole thing. We are trying to focus as much as possible on building the actual game and delivering that, and so fulfilling merchandise when it's not done in huge batches like we're doing through the Kickstarter, when it's just one person bought it on this random Tuesday, and now we need to go out and get a box and shipping tape and send it out to our UPS store. That's not really something that we want to do right now because of the time commitment of it, but I wouldn't say never. Just don't really plan on that anytime soon. I hope that's a good enough answer. There's a question.
I want to do it.
You want to do it?
I want to do the merch. So keep asking.
Maybe someday.
Keep asking, and then maybe someday.
Yeah, keep pressing, and then someday when Becca breaks down, she'll be like, "Yep, we'll do it." That's probably what's going to happen. There is a question. Can we see your cats? Which they are not currently in the room, but I will.
Cats.
I'll go check at the door.
Cats.
There might be,
no, then I will have to
door.
talk and keep the stream going. Oh no. Yeah, so right now, I don't have a vision. I'm just throwing stuff here to see what happens.
This is
this is
our
not
first
a cat,
which is not actually a cat. This is Autumn. She actually doesn't make it into our media much at all, or into our live stream at all, but we do have a dog, because we are cat people and dog people, and I thought that I would bring her in here and show her off, because I don't think she's ever been on a stream. Yeah, since we're making a game about cats, we usually focus on Ellie and Peanut Butter Cup. But we do have a dog, so Autumn's here, and she was the first one that I found outside the door, so I just had to bring her over.
She must love us the most today.
Yeah, and I see Buttercup out there as well, so I'll go grab her. Thanks, Autumn. You did good.
Yeah. And Buttercup and Ellie are in the game. I'll put the candle right here. And then I want to get rugs everywhere. I don't know if I can filter by that. Yes, I can. So this is going to be the rug house.
We got Buttercup. Buttercup's here. I don't know where Ellie is. She wasn't upstairs, so. But we got one of her cats, and we got the dog, so now you've seen him.
So you can put rugs under the furniture, which is pretty cool.
Staying here? No, staying.
Oh, these are beds. Whoops.
Right, Buttercup's gonna join us for the stream.
Okay.
Of course, we have one more cat, which is Crampy.
Yeah, and Crampy.
Crampy's joining us. This is our third cat.
Another thing you might have noticed is once you unlock an item, you can use as many, oh, this is it, as many of them as you would like.
Yeah, we kind of had a little design discussion about, oh my goodness, that is a very colorful den. So furniture you can place infinitely. Let's say you unlock a chair, you can just place a million chairs if you want into your den, as long as you have space for it. I really didn't want to restrict anybody's creative visions for how they see their den.
You should have.
I should have. It was a mistake. I'll admit it was a mistake, but it'll be a fun mistake to experiment with, I think. I see a question about the star level for items. So I believe you're referring to the ranked herbs. So some herbs, not all herbs, have a ranking system where there'll either be 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star. So you'll see like, it'll say licorice 2 star or golden seal. Yeah, like go down to that golden seal there, over on the right side of your inventory.
Here.
So that's a golden seal 2 star. So the idea behind that is it's indicating the quality of the herb. So it's sort of graphically shown the quality, and then also the quality of the herb will affect several things. It's going to affect how many seeds you can get out of it if you do the gardening system. It's going to affect the potency of the herb if you use it. So higher ranked golden seal will heal you more hearts of damage, for example. And it also affects the value of the item. So if you sell it at a shop, generally higher ranked herbs are worth more muse. And certain cats are also going to value those higher. So if they really like golden seal, then they're probably going to really like, high ranked golden seal. All right, just trying to get caught up on the. That's a lot of playmats. My goodness.
I don't know.
Your den is so.
Eclectic?
Well, what's the word for it? I was trying to think of like non-functional is not the word. Impractical. It's so impractical that you have to run all the way to the back to like sleep. So then I got on this tangent of thinking about what the most impractical den you could make would be, and it would be like a labyrinth maybe.
We could do it.
Like a one.
I want to do it.
A 1-path tunnel. It doesn't even have to be an actual maze.
I want to do it.
It doesn't have to be an actual maze. It can literally be just a path, but you could make the most convoluted, lengthy path possible. My roommate in college was a math major. I need his expert advice on how to make mathematically the longest possible path in this particular grid, because I think that would be kind of funny.
Challenge accepted.
All right. There's a question, do you think you could add a feature on the Create a Cat screen that generates a name? I sometimes have trouble naming my cat, so it'd be cool to have. That is a great suggestion, and that's a feature that I've put in several other places in the game, like for your colony name, for example. So I'm not sure why I didn't do it there. I guess it was just an oversight.
I noticed that when I was creating my cat with this one, because my creativity just wasn't happening, and I was struggling, so that would be a really good idea.
Yeah, that actually is an excellent idea. I can imagine a futuristic spaceship for dens. No, that is an interesting idea. I've tried to
like
stick
that.
to a lot of like naturalistic sort of items. There's like tree branches and logs and a lot of boulders and, you know, water and grass and those sort of features. Aside from concrete, I don't think there's anything like futuristic yet, but that would kind of make for an interesting furniture set for sure, to go something along those lines.
And I have to have some paths that are like fake outs, so like this one is not where you want it to go.
There's a question about, can you drag to delete the spaces? Having to click them one by one looks like it's a pain.
You know,
yeah,
you can.
So I'm guessing that question came up just because Becca was doing
you're
it in an inconvenient way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold the buttons and it'll go over.
That's hilarious.
Man, this is looking pretty maze-like.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a specific path that goes to where the bed is. So if you want to sleep, you're gonna have to pick the right path.
Oh, pixel art. People are talking about pixel art, which
Like a
actually
design in this.
it's a cool idea, especially because if you switch the style, so you get 6 style options, and the style determines the flooring.
Oh, I'm out of money.
Oh wow! Even with the cheats,
Well, let's see what it looks like. Well,
It's
I
gonna
bought
look-
some stuff and then I forgot that I bought stuff.
it's gonna look kind of funny. What a sensational vision, says Mulvey. Oh yeah,
Mulby knows.
that's the kind of den that we're looking for.
Oh yeah.
That den is not going to be safe for children. Maury says she's making an RPG dungeon. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that is pretty much how it goes. Make the maze slippy ice floors. That is a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can do that, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
I can
you
do that.
You can make them into... there's 2 sort of special floorings. There's sand, where you'll leave behind footprints, and then there's ice as well, which you can slip out on, so that's kind of fun. A lot of people ask about cheats. Yeah, so part of being a game developer is when I sit down to test the game, I don't want to start from scratch every time, because then it would take like 10 years to make the game. So I build in cheats to every game that I make, and every game dev does this as well, so that when we load up the game, we can get to the place we need to get to quickly, or we can unlock the items that we need to unlock quickly. Oh yeah, now you're going.
Yeah,
now you're
this
sliding
is
around.
it. Living the dream.
Living the
If
dream.
you're wondering if this game is any good or not, just behold.
Ice Rink Labyrinth Den.
Yes, it's what people have been... Give the people what they've been asking for.
I mean, you have to rate it as a recommended on Steam at that point. I think.
Yes.
I think that's-
positive review.
I think that's legally required.
Highly recommend.
There's a question about how the dating system will work in the game. That is a good question. It's a little bit different than some other games that are sort of around the genre. So, the relationship progression system works like this. You will find a cat that you want to get to know. You'll talk to them every day. You might bring them a gift every day. You'll find out what they like, what they don't like. As you do that, you'll gain friendship points with them, which is represented by stars. Once you get up to a certain star rating, you'll be able to give them a rose, which will indicate that you want to date them. If they accept your rose, then the 2 of you will begin dating, and your dating relationship will be very similar to the friendship system. You're going to come up and talk to them, give them gifts, get to know them a little bit better as you're dating. Once you've dated them for a while and they really, really like you, then you can consider a proposal. To do that, you'll purchase a shiny trinket, which is a pretty expensive item that's like it's a diamond ring, essentially. You'll bring that to them, you'll propose marriage to them, and then if they accept it, then the 2 of you will be married. So that's kind of how dating works. Another cool thing about this game that is different than the first game is while you're dating them, and in fact, if you're good friends with someone, even if you're not dating them, if you're just a very good friend with them, you will actually be able to take them out with you on your adventures. There's a new system called the Buddy System that we're excited to show off. It's not currently in the demo. But the Buddy System will allow you to take any friend with you out into the world. They'll help you hunt, they'll help you fight, they'll help you forage items, all that kind of stuff. You're going to gain some bonus friendship for doing that, which is cool, and as an added bonus, they will level up as you're out there. As they get more and more experience being out in the wilderness with you, they'll level up, they'll get a little bit stronger. I think it's going to be really neat, kind of a unique feature to Cattails Wildwood Story. Can we talk about how big the dens can be in comparison to the outside? Oh yeah, they're
no,
huge.
we cannot.
That's just one of those little game development things where it's like for the convenience of how easy it is to move around outside, we've made them very small. I think the worst offender is probably the Temple of the Forest Guardian. It looks really small on the outside, and then you get in there and it's like this huge, spacious, like ancient ruins kind of a thing. In my brain, I just tell myself that it's underground. I guess that kind of works. But there's also some daylight windows, so I don't know. You gotta tell yourself whatever works for you.
Did we explain the perfect bar? Because I just want everyone to notice that I got the perfect bar.
Do you want to talk about that?
What it means is that I got close enough to, like, as close to the prey as possible without scaring it. And so it makes it a little bit easier for me to catch, like the green area is bigger. And I'll get bonus XP if I catch it. Like that.
So close. You were really close.
I was so confident. I was like, this is
it's just a lizard. I mean, it's how it goes.
Classic cattails.
Tamara Adelson asks, is there any way to change the outside of your den's appearance? There will be. There's not yet, but that is a planned feature for sure. We want you to be able to customize a lot of the exterior of your colony and move things around in order to suit your needs and your unique individual tastes. So stick around for that. That's going to be a pretty big part of the game that we're pretty excited about. Just not in the demo quite yet. That's still a feature we need to work on. I saw a question about Xbox. It will not be on Xbox. Our target platforms are Steam, so that's going to be available on Windows and Mac computers through Steam, and Nintendo Switch as well. Imagine being a cat and getting chased by a giant crab. That's the dream, right? I mean, that's what we all want. Will we be able to mod the modding API? No, you will not. The modding API is our tool set that we are providing to you that we have to manually create sort of hooks for in the logic of the game. That will not really be modifiable. I don't think there's any feasible way to do that.
A new thing that has been changed, a bug fix, is that now when prey goes into the lava, they die, which is sad.
They also actively avoid the lava if they can. So if you like chase a squirrel and the squirrel is just on the edge of a lava pool and it's about to fall in, it'll sort of reroute itself to try not to swim in the lava. Run
straight into the lava.
That was something that a lot of the people who had access to the demo were commenting on, which is always very funny when it happens. But you're just like walking through a volcano, and then you'd see like a rabbit swimming in the middle of the lava, totally fine, totally impervious to it. Yeah, that's just one of those goofy little things. To give you some insight technically into why this happens, basically, the lava is, for all intents and purposes, according to the game engine, the lava is water, right? The water, the lava, they're the same exact thing to the game engine. I've added some logic that makes the lava act slightly different in specific circumstances. So if your cat stands in it, it's going to damage you, for example. And one area that I had not added that logic was to the prey. So the prey were treating it exactly like a big old lake, and they were going for a refreshing swim in the middle of the lava. Moon Kitty asks, can you take the prey's body after they die in the lava? You cannot. They combust instantaneously now. So like some animals will actually chase you. So like snakes will come after you because they're like aggressive. And if you lead them into the lava, they're going to come straight at you because they're very, very aggressive. But like the minute that their slithery little body hits the lava, they're just like incinerated. There's like a puff of smoke and they're gone. Question from K. Meyer. If you could marry one NPC in Cattails, who would it be? That's a good question.
Let me pull up the social panel so we can see them.
Well, I wonder if this is
I only
specific
talked to two of them.
I wonder if this question is specific to Cattails or to Cattails Wildwood Story.
I mean, Wildwood Story.
It's true, that's true.
For me, it's Bob. It's always gonna be Bob. It will forever be Bob. So, maybe Glimmer as well, because they're very interesting. You know? I don't know.
Not Buttercup or Ellie is one of the comments. I think they're surprised at your answer. For me, I don't know that I could answer that question. It's like picking a favorite child, you know. Yeah, in my playthroughs, I've gone through and dated and married just about every cat because, you know, for coverage reasons, I have to do that. But in my personal playthroughs, like if I'm just playing the game and I'm trying not to, you know, use any cheats and just end-to-end test it like a player would, that's really hard. I think in the first Cattails, if I was in the forest colony, I'd usually go for Scout. If I was in the mountain domain, I would go for Arthur all day, every day. And then if I was in the Mystic Colony, usually Crampy. So somewhere between those three for the first game. For Wildwood Story, I don't know. Honestly, it's a toss-up. There's a lot of really good options. Tyler, how would you feel being replaced by Bob? You know, Bob is such a sweet cat. I have a soft spot for Bob, so
it's understandable.
It's understandable, yeah. Can we have a perfect when catching something?
Oh.
There's a perfect text effect that it appears if you succeed at a perfect pounce, which is where you get close enough to the prey, you know, as close as you possibly can prior to pouncing, and then you do successfully catch it. But I want to say that it is actually spelled.
Yeah, it's not spelled the right way.
Right, it's not spelled the cat way. It's not the funny pun way. So that might be something that needs updated. We'll look into that.
I feel like I did that last stream. I don't remember, so it's not gonna do it.
There's a question from B8467. Can we transfer data from the alpha to the full game? That is certainly our hope. The reason that I'm being a little bit hesitant in saying that is I just don't know yet. There's a lot of complex features sometimes that if you don't build them into the save file early, then you end up needing them later, and you don't really think about that until they come around. So, long story short, we will keep you updated and we'll let you know no matter what. I would love for that to be the case. I'm going to try my hardest to make that be the case so that you will be able to bring your save file from the alpha to the beta and then from the beta to the full game. But, you know, I'm just going to throw it out there that might not end up being the case, and if it's not, we'll let you know. So, stay tuned on that.
Okay, I obviously don't remember who likes what, so...
Yeah, Lainey did not like...
You're gonna learn
a squirrel?
You're gonna learn from my mistakes.
This has been a common thing with streamers as well, where like every cat ends up hating them. But you know, when there's not a wiki to go around, because it's a new game, that makes it a little tricky.
I need alpha testers to make a wiki. That would be the most helpful thing.
Question about, can you place your colony wherever you want? Yes and no. This one's an interesting question because technically the way it's going to be implemented is kind of interesting. So, for gameplay reasons and for game feel reasons, your colony is always going to be physically located in the smack dab center of the world map. That way you can get to everything you need to get to, and nothing is inaccessible to you. However, you will be able to choose the starting biome of your colony. So you'll get to choose if that... Basically, you get to customize that central region to your liking and choose its starting state. So you can choose if you want to start in a pine wood, or in a birch forest, or in a prairie, for example, or maybe like in a beachy kind of environment. So those sort of things are going to be completely up to you, because the colony region, so where Beck is right now, where she's currently playing in, is going to be pretty customizable. I mean, we've added a lot of features that are going to let you like move trees and move waterways around and move paths, in addition to customizing the buildings and the building placement. So you'll sort of choose your starting loadout for that, and then as the game progresses, you'll be able to customize that to your heart's content. Still seeing some questions about litters and kittens. Not something we're going to touch on in this live stream. I know that's a common topic. I know that's something you guys are dying to hear about. I totally get that. I understand that's an exciting feature. We're just going to stay tight-lipped about that until we have that feature implemented, basically.
That's a nice way of saying we don't know yet and it's not done.
Well, Becca doesn't know yet. Could you have a volcano biome for your colony? That's an interesting idea. I think it'd be cool. I do have, I've created the artwork for a volcano exterior to your den. So like you can live in kind of a basalt, volcano-y looking player den for sure. And there's also like basalt paths that you can put down, which look very much like volcanic rock. So I think there's probably some elements that you could mess around with that would make it look pretty volcano-y. Is Crampy in or going to be in the new game? Yes, Crampy is here.
Let's go talk to him.
Crampy is in Cattails Wildwood Story for sure. Crampy is still the doctor of your colony. So if you are incapacitated while fighting, you're going to go straight to Crampy's clinic, or if you need healing, Crampy is the cat that you are going to want to talk to. And of course, Crampy has some amazing new artwork for the portrait made by Narabas Artworks, who did an excellent job on those portraits. We're very excited to bring that character back. Question about the Crampy plushies. Will they be machine washable?
That's a good question.
Long story short, I don't know. I don't know that I would risk it personally. I would probably sort of hand clean it. I worry about a machine, and depending on what cleaners you use, it could potentially like fade the material. I just don't know for sure.
I'm gonna check.
Well, you can. I made the tag. It does not.
Oh, that's right. You made the tag.
I wouldn't risk it, but maybe. I guess I don't know. I've never personally washed a plush, so I don't know what you would even look for.
It's micro minky polyester fiber. New material only. We don't know.
There you have it. If you can wash polyester fiber in micro minky, then I guess you could, but I would hate to say that for sure and then have someone ruin their plushie in their machine. So, oh, I like that. That's a good place. We got Crampy up here on my keyboard. Wonderful. Question from Embers, which asks, what's some of the next features you're excited to start working on after the Kickstarter? Were you excited to see any specific goal reached for the stretch goals? Yes, to both of those. One feature I am very excited to be working on after the Kickstarter concludes is the active skills system. So right now you'll notice the demo does not have the active skills, which are a big feature in the first game. You can customize your cat's loadout by spending experience points in order to unlock these special skills that can help you in combat and in other utility type situations. That's going to be a returning feature for this game, of course. You can actually gain experience points right now, you just can't spend them yet. So I'm excited to work on that personally. Another feature is the random roving NPC cats that will defend your colony. That's something that I'm actively working on right now implementing. So I'm excited to see that through, because it's kind of fun to just, stress test the game by spawning in like 100 voidling cats and then 100 of your colony cats and just letting them go at it to make sure that all of that works well. It's just it's visually appealing, I guess. And then for the second question, were there any stretch goals that I was super excited to reach? For sure. I think Rival Marriages was one that I am personally very excited to be implementing. I've never done any feature like that before in a game that I've created, and I remember that being a big feature in some of the beloved games from my childhood, like Harvest Moon 64 has that feature. So I'm stoked to be tackling that challenge. Question about when the alpha and the beta will be released. So our current plan for that is the alpha is probably going to be in August of this year. That's our current target, and I would say we're well on track for that. The beta, we're looking at March of next year, so 2023. We're hoping to launch that one out to all of our closed beta backers.
I'm gonna get this fish that's super far away.
Can you make clones of yourself so you can answer everybody's questions at one time? That would be super nice. I mean, that would be great.
That's why I'm playing the games. You can answer questions.
Maybe someday. That would be super neat.
The other thing I would say too about our community just being fantastic is we've definitely seen there's been times where like people will ask like a question on Twitter or Facebook or like on comments on things, and then we see like some of you answer that for us, which actually saves us a ton of time and is super helpful. So thank you for people who've been doing that, because that's just been really like exciting to see and like, yeah, really helpful.
Absolutely. Let's see, there was a question here that I was going to answer. Oh, timeline questions about after the Kickstarter. So that's coming up pretty quick here. Again, there's like 39 hours left in it, so great question, very timely question. So the timeline on that is going to look something like this. The Kickstarter is going to end, and then pledges are going to be collected. Kickstarter takes a little bit of time to do that and then to issue the funds to us. There's also a sort of a grace period that's built in for if pledges fail for any reason. So like if a card gets declined, or like you know put in the wrong number or something, Kickstarter will send you an email and they'll say, hey, your pledge couldn't be collected for this reason. You know, you have until this date to fix it. That usually lasts for a couple of weeks or so. But once that period is over and the funding has been received, then all of that will be collected by them. They'll send it our way. And then we will be looking into sending surveys out. So that's probably going to happen sometime around mid to late July. We'll be sending surveys out to collect information from pretty much everybody who backed. There's a few pieces of info that we need. For example, if you have a name in the credits reward, we need to collect what name you want to put in the credits. If you have a box of physical merch coming your way, we need to collect a shipping address. And then of course, we'll probably be collecting an email address as well so that we can contact you in case we have trouble with that. Those surveys will be sent out. We'll have some amount of time for you to answer those. We'll provide a deadline when we send those out. And then once the surveys have been, closed down and we have all of the responses and everybody has submitted those within time, then we'll begin reward fulfillment. We'll start with the digital wallpaper sets and keys for Cattails 1 if you backed for that, keys for the special coat colors for Cattails 1, basically everything that we have ready to go. We're going to send it as soon as we can, which is, probably a little over a month out is kind of the timeline on that. Can we add on to our pledge after the end date? No, you will not be able to do that. So once the campaign ends on Kickstarter, Kickstarter is going to shut it down. They're going to say nobody can modify their pledge, nobody can add to that, the rewards are locked in. Upgrading your pledge will not be an option. Now, one thing that we are going to look into doing, we're working with a company called BackerKit. They've been super helpful. We will be looking into offering some of our pledge tiers via BackerKit, even post-campaign. But what I will tell you up front, we won't have every option, and you will not be able to upgrade an existing pledge through that platform. That is our current understanding of the situation of things. So if there's something you really want now and you're back on the Kickstarter, make sure that you get your pledge submitted now and get that locked in exactly how you want it, because once the Kickstarter ends, that is locked in and that is done. All right, we have just a little over 5 minutes left here, so if people have last minute questions or comments, please do feel free to put those. We'll go right up to the end of it to make sure that that you guys get as much time watching the game as you possibly can. There's a question about the mines. How many mines are there? How deep can you go in each one? And is there an infinite mode? Infinite mode is an interesting idea. I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. There's not currently an infinite mode, so each of the mines is 100 floors. There is, at the moment in the demo, there's one cave that you can explore. It's 100 floors of varying floor types and varying challenges. I think it came together pretty cool. And of course, we hit the stretch goal at 200k of the expanded mines. So we're going to be adding 2 additional caves to the mines that you will unlock after you reach level 100 of the first mine. So they're going to be like sequential challenges, basically, is the idea there. So Cave 1 is the easiest, Cave 2 is a little harder, Cave 3 is the hardest. And Cave 3 is going to be no joke. I mean, it's going to be a real challenge to get to the bottom of. So that's pretty exciting. So Becca's demonstrating the first couple of levels of the first
kind of rushing through it.
Right. What 5 cats will we start the game with? That's a good question, and we haven't finalized the exact number you'll start with. For sure, you're going to start with some of the cats that have essential services. You'll begin with Coco, for sure. You'll begin with Crampy, who's the doctor, and you'll for sure begin with Ember, because Ember runs the shop. Aside from that, there likely will be 1 or 2 others, but we have not finalized that roster quite yet. Is there an official Discord? There is not. There's no official Discord. There's some unofficial fan communities on various platforms, including Discord, but they are not official. The only official communities are Kickstarter, our social media pages, and we have a forum board as well, which is cattailsgame.proboards.com. You're welcome to join there. We have several discussion boards where you can put your comments about the game there.
I'm still alive.
Seeing some comments about marriageable cats. Every cat that joins your colony, that you recruit to your colony, all of them are marriageable in this game, so you won't run into that unfortunate situation which so many people did before, where you befriend a cat, get to know them really, really well, and then find out later that they are not marriageable. Hopefully that will be a thing of the past. Question from Waffles. Will the NPCs be able to marry each other? Yes, thank goodness, because we reached that stretch goal of rival marriages. There are specific predetermined pairs of NPCs that, if you meet a certain set of requirements, could potentially get together, get married, and even have kittens of their own. So we're very, very excited about that feature. That is brand new to the series. Jupiter asks, how do you recruit cats? So that is an upcoming feature. It's going to revolve around the Temple of the Forest Guardian and completing some requirements there. I can't talk too much about that quite yet, but we're pretty excited about how that's going to look. And that is also going to progress the game as well. That's going to be an important part of progressing the storyline of the game, is growing your colony. Do you know how big the map's going to be? I know the map's smaller right now since it's a demo, but how big do you plan to make it? Great question. The current plan is like something in the range of 7x7 regions. It's really hard to get a good sense of scale for that as well, because the map tiles in this game are actually substantially larger than the tiles were in the first Cattails. Just the sheer size of them, they're significantly larger. So I know the first one's 10x10, but 7x7 is actually larger in terms of surface area for the second game than 10x10 was. It's always an interesting discussion, though, about map size, because that is something that we, as a game designer, we have to sort of balance for that. We have to figure out, according to how long a day takes and according to where we place all the vital services around the map, what feels good to play, basically. You know, how can we make it big and varied and vast, but also approachable and easy to navigate, and those sort of questions. Can we expand our colony? In terms of members, yes, absolutely, and in terms of features as well. So that's going to be a big part of the game, is increasing the number of cats that are members of your colony and adding some new features to it as well. For example, Alabaster is one of the cats who, upon being recruited, is going to unlock the gardening feature, which will let you grow your own herbs in a little herb garden, and potentially grow really high quality herbs as well if you take good care of those. Is there an easy, medium, and hard mode? Yes. There's actually more than that. There's 5 difficulty levels, ranging from very easy, so it's very easy, easy, medium, hard, and then very hard. The difficulty levels are, you can change them at any time, so Becca's demonstrating now. Literally at any time in the game, you can just go in there and change your difficulty level if you decided on it being, you know, too difficult for you or too easy for you. You can just go ahead and modify that. We want to make that as accessible as possible. That's going to change a lot of things about the game. How much damage you take, how much damage you deal. It's going to change some things with how the money system works. It's going to change how friendship works. Just so many different features there. Just on the whole, it's going to holistically change your experience of the game based on what you pick there.
I switched it to coin toss, and so I'm going to show what that looks like.
So she's demonstrating an alternate hunting mode. If you don't like the quick time, stop the bar with perfect timing kind of a deal, you can change it to coin toss. This is going to feel a lot like how hunting was in the first game. It'll display your chance based on how close you were. So she caught that salmon successfully that time around. Alright, well, we'll probably be wrapping things up here pretty quick. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to everybody who's backed us on Kickstarter. It has been an absolutely wild month. We've loved every second of it. We really, really appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing our game. Thanks for caring about Cattails. Yeah, so there's just 2 days left in the campaign. Please go check that out. It's cattailsgame.com/KS. Again, these are the last chance. If you want to back, this is it. So go check that out. And yeah, we'll be sure to keep you guys updated as the campaign comes to an end. We'll post some updates over there. We'll post it to our social media. You can follow us at Cattails Game on pretty much every platform. Twitter is generally where we put out our big updates, so be sure to check there if you're looking for the latest news. And yeah, that's it for Dev Livestream number 4. We'll be sure to check back in and let you know when